Today we are covering Microsoft Information Protection Administrator SC-400. To find the complete list of questions and answers, please go to the playlist link provided in the description. If you like this content, do like, share and subscribe to this channel. Now the question is Introductory Info Case Study. This is a case study. Case studies are not timed separately. You can use as much exam time as you would like to complete each case. However, there may be additional case studies and sections on this exam. You must manage your time to ensure that you are able to complete all questions included on this exam in the time provided. To answer the questions included in the case study, you will need to reference information that is provided in the case study. Case studies might contain exhibits and other resources that provide more information about the scenario that is described in the case study. Each question is independent of the other questions in this case study. At the end of this case study, a review screen will appear. This screen allows you to review your answers and to make changes before you move to the next section of the exam. After you begin a new section, you cannot return to the section. To start the case study, to display the first question in this case study, click the Next button. Use the buttons in the left pane to explore the content of the case study before you answer the questions. Clicking these buttons displays information such as business requirements, existing environment, and problem statements. If the case study has an All Information tab, note that the information displayed is identical to the information displayed on the subsequent tabs. When you are ready to answer a question, click the Question button to return to the question. These are the exam instructions for the real exams. Now see the overview. Fabricam Inc. is a consulting company that has a main office in Montreal and 6 branch offices in New York, Seattle, Miami, Houston, Los Angeles, and Vancouver. Existing environment, cloud environment. Fabricam has a Microsoft 365 tenant that contains the following resources: an on-premises Active Directory domain named corp.fabricam.com that syncs to an Azure Active Directory Azure AD tenant, Microsoft Cloud App Security connectors configured for all supported cloud applications used by the company. Some users have company Dropbox accounts. Compliance configuration. Fabricam has the following in the Microsoft 365 Compliance Center. A data loss prevention DLP policy is configured. The policy displays a tooltip to users. Users can provide a business justification to override a DLP policy violation. The Azure Information Protection Unified Labeling Scanner is installed and configured. A sensitivity level named Fabricam Confidential is configured. An existing third-party records management system is managed by the compliance department. Human Resources HR Management System. The HR Management has an Azure SQL database that contains employee information. Each employee has a unique 12-character alphanumeric ID. The database contains confidential employee attributes including payroll information, date of birth, and personal contact details. On-premises environment. You have an on-premises file server that runs Windows Server 2019 and stores Microsoft Office documents in a shared folder named Data. All end users' computers are joined to the corp.fabricom.com domain and run a third-party anti-malware application. Business process: sales contracts. Users in the sales department receive draft sales contracts from customers by email. The sales contracts are written by the customers and are not in a standard format. Employment application. Employment applications and resumes are received by HR department managers and stored in either mailboxes, Microsoft SharePoint online sites, OneDrive for business folders, or Microsoft Teams channels. The employment application form is downloaded from SharePoint Online and a serial number is assigned to each application. The resumes are written by the applicants and are in any format. Requirements: HR requirements. You need to create a DLP policy that will notify the HR department of a DLP policy violation if a document that contains confidential employee attributes is shared externally. The DLP policy must use an exact data match (EDM) classification derived from a CSV export of the HR department database. The HR department identifies the following requirements for handling employment applications. Resumes must be identified automatically based on similarities to other resumes received in the past. Employment applications and resumes must be deleted automatically 2 years after the applications are received. Documents and emails that contain an application serial number must be identified automatically and marked as an employment application. Sales requirements. A sensitivity level named sales contract must be applied automatically to all draft and finalized sales contracts. Compliance requirements. Fabricam identifies the following compliance requirements. All DLP policies must be applied to computers that run Windows 10 with the least possible changes to the computers. Users in the compliance department must view the justification provided when a user receives a tooltip notification for a DLP violation. If a document that has the Fabricam confidential sensitivity label applied is uploaded to Dropbox, the file must be deleted automatically. The Fabricam confidential sensitivity label must be applied to existing Microsoft Word documents in the data shared folder that have a document footer containing the following string: company use only. Users must be able to manually select that email messages are sent encrypted. The encryption will use Office 365 Message Encryption (OME) v2. Any email containing an attachment that has the Fabricam confidential sensitivity label applied must be encrypted automatically by using OME. Existing policies configured in the third-party records management system must be replaced by using records management in the Microsoft 365 Compliance Center. The compliance department plans to export the existing policies and then produce a CSV file that contains matching labels and policies that are compatible with records management in Microsoft 365. The CSV file must be used to configure records management in Microsoft 365. Executive requirements. You must be able to restore all email received by Fabricam executives for up to 3 years after an email is received, even if the email was deleted permanently. Now the question is, you need to recommend a solution that meets the compliance requirements for Dropbox. What should you recommend? Option A. Create a file policy in cloud app security that uses the built-in DLP inspection method. Option B. Edit an existing retention label that enforces the item deletion settings. Option C. Create a retention label that enforces the item deletion settings. Option D. Create a DLP policy that applies to devices. Correct answer is option A.